Hello there. We are underway in celebrating our first year anniversary. And if you don't already know about it, I'm hosting a raffle and giving away more than $2,000 worth in cash and prizes. So if you or a friend have access to an Apple product, you can enter to win. For the complete details, go to sayyesToYourSoulPodcast.com. All right, here we go with another soulful episode. If you're doing any kind of mission or healing work that has a humanitarian purpose behind it, it's a soul-connected business, or it can be. And if you're cut off from your soul with it, then you're going to see that in the results. You're going to see that in the relationships that you do or don't build. You're going to see that in your revenues, and you're going to have some of that reflected back to you. Hi there. My name is Tessa Lynne Alburn. Welcome to Say Yes to Your Soul. This is where we're going to talk about how you can get past your spiritual plateaus, raise your feminine energy, and express your true self with sparkle. Hello there. A few episodes ago, we talked about owning your worth, right? And I laid out some steps for you to take so that you could start shifting into feelings of greater worthiness as a woman, and if you're a business owner, as a woman in business. Today, I'd like to go into more detail about some of the little ways that we devalue ourselves and give you some steps forward. Now, if you don't have a business yet, I think you're still going to find some things of value in here, so I hope you'll stick around. Today, I'm going to be sharing from that viewpoint of putting the business first and some of those places where we can get stuck and undermine ourselves. Now, starting with me, there was a time when I wasn't putting my business first. I was actually the first time that I can recall not putting my business first was when I had a healing business, and I was putting the opinions of other people first, my friends, mostly friends and mentors. I was listening to their input, and it felt a little charged. And years later, I found out I had a great conversation with one of my mentors, because they admitted that they were actually jealous of what I was doing, and they didn't realize it at the time. So they were just telling me, don't do it, don't do it. Thankfully, I knew better, and I continued and listened to my inner calling, and I put myself out there and I took some action. That's another way that I did not put my business first. I put somebody else's business first, was when I would have consulting clients. And I mean, I loved doing that work. It was so much fun because a lot of it is collaborating. Most of the consulting clients that I had used to we would brainstorm together and things of that nature, and we would develop interesting new things. And sometimes I was just called in, as the expert to guide the ship, as it were. And so I had a lot of freedom, and it was great because I had already made a proposal, and so I knew what I was earning. I didn't have to worry about income. I was just like, yeah, it's covering this much, it's covering this many hours, and that sort of thing. But I would do this thing where I would schedule blocks of time in case clients needed me. And I'm not sure why I did that, because it wasn't fully conscious. It was like a desire to avoid. I think part of it was avoiding some things that I didn't want to get done in my own business and put my focus on, because it was just easier focusing on clients than focusing on other things that I needed to get done or learn, or integrating new technologies or training team members, whatever it was. So I created a cycle where I started to feel like I was jumping through hoops for my clients. And I was like, oh, I'm the one that did that. I created that. So those are a couple of the ways that I did not put my business first. and instead put somebody else's. Now, I've had a number of clients, many of my clients over the years, who are either like high level C-suite people or doing high level consultation for multi-million dollar companies, or they have their own businesses, and they present really well. They like look really good in the public. They look like, oh, they have it all together and everything's great at home, but it's not always the case. Most of the time it's not. And where I found, like, almost every time, not every, but really high percentage, when I would first start working with someone, it would come out, and as we got closer and closer to the heart of things, that things weren't so great with her partner because they were probably, most of them, secretly frustrated. The partner didn't quite understand what their business was, and then the partner was making assumptions about their business that then left the woman, business owner, to feel obligated and have to pick up certain kinds of slack in the relationship. Like, I'll give you a specific example. Like, one time, a client's husband said at dinner, "By the way, honey, the handyman, the people are coming over to do something on the roof tomorrow, and you'll let them in and make sure that they do what they're supposed to do." She was mystified. She was just aghast. Like, what are you talking about? I have a business. I am working in my business tomorrow. I have clients. I have meetings. I can't I'm not on call. I'm not, sitting around waiting for something to do or to happen. And these women like her would build up, not say anything forever. And then when that moment came where the partner or the husband would say, put this onus on them, just kind of out of not understanding, and the woman would follow through on it. She would cancel her calendar. She would move her clients. And then she got to be a martyr. And complain about her husband or her partner. So that's a case of not putting your business first, because you're avoiding having a conversation. You're avoiding clarifying what you need. And it's really important to do that with people. Friends do this with us as well. They'll set up, they think, oh, they're home all day working from home. And they'll just like suddenly start texting or sending YouTube videos or whatever it is. And they just want to talk. They're like, hey, this has been going on. I wanted to tell you about it. Or, and if you pick up, then it gets longer, right? And it stretches into whatever you have going on that you had scheduled. So I went through a little bit of this in early days, and I trained my people really well. They know much better. But we really do. We need to train people. We need to communicate our needs. Otherwise, people don't get it. People have their needs, and then until you say, no, this doesn't work for me, or you've explained it ahead of time, they're going to want your care, your love, because you're probably an awesome person. So to prioritize yourself and your business, you're going to need to learn to set healthy boundaries. Boundaries with your partners, friends, family, yes, kids too. Boundaries are really healthy for kids, whether they're little itty bitties, teenagers, or adults. They all need boundaries. Oh, also your team, the team that works with you, they need boundaries too. They don't know when you're available. They'll be sending me, I know this. My people will send me stuff at all hours of the day and night. I open up my communications, my email, let's say, in the morning when I sit at my desk. I'm like, midnight, what were they doing at midnight? What they're really like, and I need, like, I'm stuck, I can't go anywhere. So it's just all training. So healthy boundaries, and then train people. Now, the biggest boundary of all, though, the biggest one, is with yourself. Boundaries from distractions, boundaries from avoidance, boundaries from obligations, because everything is a choice. And all those things, the distractors, the obligations, all that stuff weakens you and it diffuses your energy. What do you think is going to happen to your business if you're not present? You're the founder of it. You're the owner of it. You run it. So one way you can set self boundaries is to be very clear on your goals for the day or your intentions. And I work with both. So sometimes I have a goal, which is a very clear set outcome of something and clear steps to taking that. And intention is a little bit more about the energetics, or when I'm thinking about like, I intend for the team to become more cohesive, then there's something I'm going to wind up doing towards that. So my intention will light that, get that started. So I want to say, make this distinction though, in terms of goals, like goals for your business, goals, your company goals are not your to-do list. They are not that list of never-ending things to do, emails to read, people to get back to. Your goals need to be about your company goals. And one of the ways to get in touch with those, of course, is your mission. What is actually important? Not urgent, but important. Is it the relationships with your clients? Is it that you need to communicate something? Or is it that you need to, rather than following through on some picky uni little thing you were going to, we're going to email or find or create. We need to step back and look at the business as a whole and almost like an entity, because it's a soul connected business. If you're doing any kind of mission or healing work that has a humanitarian purpose behind it, it's a soul connected business, or it can be. And if you're cut off from your soul with it, then you're going to see that in the results. You're going to see that in the relationships that you do or don't build. You're going to see that in your revenues, and you're going to have some of that reflected back to you. I think you're here because you want that soul connected business. I want you to understand it is possible, but it takes some accountability. It takes some showing up for. So I want you to set some clear intentions for your day, or goals, select 3 or 4 max. That is it. You might get 2 done, depending on what they are. But I want you to focus your energy on those. Delegate anything that you need support with or that you can. In other words, that you don't really have to be the one to do it. Because if you're getting buried, then you have a boundary problem and you need to ask for support and you need to say no to yourself. Say yes to your business. Say yes to your mission. Say no to avoidance, procrastination, diving in on some project that somebody else could be doing because it's easy. So you're going to want to take kind of like a greater responsibility and also learn to trust others and delegate to them. The next thing I want you to do is to schedule your time wisely. That sounds so simple, right? Oh, you probably have a calendar. Maybe it's online. It's certainly easy to use these days. Scheduling your time wisely does not mean packing in 5,000 little task reminders. That is not wise. But when you schedule your time wisely, it's going to help you with your focus. You're going to actually get stuff done sooner and with greater acumen and with greater spirit. I can't tell you how many really brilliant women I know who've set themselves up to fail because they don't have timelines that support who they are as a person. And when people work with me, this is often one of the common areas where I find that things are quite messy. People are constantly overscheduling themselves and they believe they need to do it. And what we find to be true is that they don't actually, but they didn't see another way. to get things done. So messiness in scheduling causes stress, it causes, rushing and the kinds of feelings that are opposite of why you go into business in the first place. Because you probably went into business because you wanted freedom, right? Freedom and scheduling go together. You need structure, and scheduling can provide you structure. That's one type of structure in a business. And I think of scheduling kind of like as a flowing thing. Like I love an electronic calendar because I schedule chunks of time and then I learn that something else actually is more of a priority. And then I can just move that chunk of time to another day, to another time, put a reminder on it. That's it. And when you know your mission and you understand the big picture, it's easy to say, oh, that is the priority. It's a lot easier. Another element of creating freedom means that you're going to want to be aware of and in charge of any inner saboteurs. Now, saboteurs, I think for women, there are all kinds. Could do a whole archetype quiz on that. I actually did years ago, but so you want to know, like, is your panicker taking over, or is your victim taking over, or maybe just your loud rebeller, right? She's pretty good. Like a lot, I've seen this in a lot of women these days who are ambitious and really wanting to like have their voice and make their mark on the world, make an impact. But the rebeller, she's all about freedom and no rules. Like there's no guidelines for her. She's just all about freedom. She's a wild child. So she needs guidance and she needs boundaries and structure. And I find that there's this, there is such a deep desire for authenticity and for the acknowledgement of one's being. So understanding your saboteurs and managing those would be really helpful to help you to be in your authentic self and to create freedom. I'll just say a word about feminine energy and masculine energy, because I think what we're working with in business is, and in life as well, if we were just in the feminine, we would create a lot of compassion, we'd create a lot of nurturing, we'd create a lot of growth probably, but we would not achieve. We would not know what our goals are because it's just compassion. We don't really know where we're heading. Creating love is nice, but I am pretty certain that most women do not just want that. We do want love, but we also want other stuff. We want human things. We want to go places. We want to have certain amounts of income to take care of ourselves and to contribute to our families. It's just like if you had a daughter, you'd want her probably to graduate high school. Maybe you'd want her to go to college, or maybe you'd want her to do something else. There's a desire. And when you're not paying attention to your desires, these can also, the unspoken or the unrecognized desires can undermine you. They can feed into the saboteurs. So we have the feminine energy, all this compassionate stuff and the nurturing and the spaciousness. We also do need the masculine. We want to be in harmony with masculine energy, the divine masculine, without letting it take over. Right. And we've got a whole world of that, like masculine energy all over the place. That wasn't necessarily divine masculine, but divine masculine energy in my manifesto is to have goals and boundaries. And one more thing, which I think is often overlooked, discipline. We need the discipline to show up when things are uncomfortable or messy, or there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, or we don't quite feel like it right then. Our hormones are doing this, that, or the other, or somebody's upset at school and somebody's this and somebody's that. We've got to be disciplined to say, I'm here for myself. I'm here for my business. This is my focus. And I'm not saying to ignore others in your life. I'm saying to find ways to delegate, to get things done without stuff like that being urgent or feeling like it's an emergency. The more you can create calm and peace and presence in yourself, the more your family is, the more the world around you, your friends, your relationships will also have greater sense of presence and centeredness. Lastly, for many women, we've been trained to feel like all timelines are urgent. And so this is an unlearning you're going to need to do. Right? You even look at a calendar and you're like, here's that deadline. I got to hurry, 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 hurry. No. I think this may go back. I was reflecting on this, and I think it could go back to birthing, right? All the stuff that happens around the birth, right? There's this big timeline, the due date, and then there's the rushing to the hospital or getting to the hospital, all the intensity of the doctors and the nurses and the midwives and the whatever. And the family is all called this big, big event, and people are waiting, or maybe the baby comes earlier, maybe it comes late. Or maybe the woman is like, I'm not waiting till then. Like there's something around the intensity and the urgency of birthing that I think women hold that sense of urgency more strongly than men. And we need to let it go. All needs are not urgent. Other people are not more urgent than us. If you allow everything else to be more urgent than you or your success or your mission, then you will always be chasing something. And so you need to decide that the urgencies of others is simply not true. They might have feelings about it. They might have upset. That's okay. And it's okay that you feel like others are more urgent. Like, oh, I must get back to that friend, Dr. Banker, before I can do this, that, or the other. But I'm saying make a choice. Make a choice that honors you. I'm not saying avoid or do anything else or dismiss other people. Not on the contrary, I want you to acknowledge them. And I want you to make a choice for yourself. So I'm just going to offer you a question here that I'm inviting you to be in the rest of the week. And the question is, who or what are you putting before your business? Who or what are you putting before your business? So I wish you an amazing week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. That's it for today. Bye-bye for now. All right. Thank you for joining us for this week's delicious episode. Before you jump off, I wanted to remind you to get entered in the raffle this month because I'm giving away more than $2,000 worth of prizes in both private sessions and actual cash. What are those prizes, you ask? Well, one of them is a private 75-minute soul light healing session with me. And that can be healing on various levels. It might be releasing trauma or tuning up your body or your emotions or clearing things like past lives and karma that's been, energetic debris holding you back. This session can be very helpful and sometimes have dramatic results in relationships, money, and in your health. And we're going to do that together on Zoom, so it doesn't matter where you live. The second prize is a 60-minute coaching session with me, and that's also going to be on Zoom. So if you want support or clarity for your goals, like help with getting started with a project or just creating an action plan, that is going to be an amazing session. You'll be surprised at how much you come away with. The third prize is a personalized meditation that I will design especially for you. And of course, it's going to be yours to keep. So it's going to be fully personalized in terms of the content, and I will be speaking just to you so that you will be able to resonate with it and receive the maximum benefits that you want to create. Okay, now for the fun stuff, the cash. I have several cash prizes in various amounts. I've got several $50 prizes, $75 prizes, and $100 prizes. So you can see there are many opportunities to win here, and I just want to encourage you to be sure to play because you do need to play to win. All monetary prizes will be delivered through PayPal or Wise, and if you have a different currency, it'll be automatically converted for you. So as long as you have access to an Apple device, you can play. And all the instructions are available on our website at sayyesToYourSoulPodcast.com. That's sayyesToYourSoulPodcast.com. And if you need any support in completing your raffle entry, my team is ready to help you with that. You'll find their email on our webpage as well. So that's it. All the best to you, and may you say yes to your soul.